Yo, Joe. Talking comics, here's your host. It's A Real American Brian.
Welcome back. Let's read some more G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. I'm going to be diving into issue number 9. On the cover, we get to see Scarlet hanging onto a Cobra Trooper who is in a helicopter. The Cobra Trooper is attempting to hit her with the butt of his gun. I have to assume he's out of ammo, otherwise there would be a much more effective use of that weapon. But this cover does a great job of drawing me in and making me want to know more. Mike Vosberg and Chick Stone worked on this one. The Diplomat. Mike Vosberg and Chick Stone are doing the interior art on this issue as well. The issue is written by Stephen Grant. Straight to the action, we see Stalker busting into a Nebraska farmhouse that is a Cobra intel station in disguise. Breaker is sent to the computer to retrieve what he can, though the Cobras have already begun in a race sequence. As he's attempting to retrieve what he can and save it to tape, an image of Cobra Commander comes onto the screen. Breaker picks up on Cobra Commander's subtle hint and gets Stalker out of the house just as it explodes. Breaker managed to grab the porta-pack on the way out so that they have some information on what Cobra was doing. Then we see this has all been playing in the G.I. Joe briefing room. What the Joes could pull from the tape showed an upcoming assassination attempt planned for State Department diplomat Brian Hassel. Brian Hassel is currently involved in talks with the Persian Gulf nation Al Alaway, and spoiler, he lives up to his name. He is quite the hassle. The Joes must protect him. Scarlet and Clutch are sent to escort the diplomat. Stalker and Snake Eyes are sent to find someone that can get more information on Cobra's plan. Scarlet does ask if there's anyone else that she can be sent with, hinting at the poor relationship she has with Clutch and his misogynist comments. Cobra Commander is informed that the Joes know of their plans to assassinate Hassel. He is happy to hear that and initiates attacks on them, saying this will make an amusing game. We move over to Scarlet on the beach in her bikini, as they have tracked down Brian Hassel. Clutch is buried in the sand. Hassel is reluctant to go with him until some Cobra scuba divers come out of the water to attack him. Clutch comes out of the sand firing his weapon and chases the Cobras back into the water. Now Hassel is ready to go with Scarlet and Clutch. Scarlet escorts Hassel back to his room, but as he's getting ready, she realizes that the door won't open and then hears ticking. She grabs her crossbow and fires it out the window. Firing a rope across the street, she is able to hook her crossbow on the rope. Hassel grabs a hold of her and they escape just as the explosion happens. On the street, Clutch is waiting for them with a car. In London, Stalker and Snake Eyes track down a weapons manufacturer that is rumored to supply weapons to Cobra. As they start grilling him, he writes on a notepad, "The room is bugged," and address in Amsterdam. The Joes believe him and take off. As soon as the Joes are gone, he radios to Cobra that the Joes have been given the message. His reward for his loyalty to Cobra is Cobra Commander remotely electrocuting him. As Scarlet and Clutch approach the airstrip with Hassel, they are attacked from behind, but one well-tossed grenade from Scarlet and they are clear. The airplane has already begun to take off, and Clutch drives up the ramp just in time, and they are in the air. Scarlet begins to think that the Cobra attacks have been too easy, then looks down and notices they are flying in the wrong direction. As she says something, the pilot pulls a gun on her. She smashes the pilot in the face with her bag, but his gun goes off. The plane begins to nosedive as Clutch comes up to figure out what is going on. Clutch takes the controls. The radio was shot and half the controls aren't working. Clutch finds a small outcrop of a cliff to land the plane on. The plane lanes teetering on the edge. The Joes grab Hassel and get back to the car and pull out of the plane just as it plummets over the cliff. Stalker and Snake Eyes have followed the trail to Amsterdam and find a dark room. A Cobra Commander hologram appears in the room. Cobra Commander informs Stalker that Hassel is actually the assassin, then fills the room with gas. Hassel is set to assassinate the representative from Alaway to completely discredit the U.S. and make them appear to be the bad guys. G.I. Joe escorting him there incriminates them as well. Snake Eyes blows the door to the room and pull Stalker out just in time. Clutch and Scarlet are in the Alps trying to hold off some helicopters that are coming after them, when a couple of cars attempt to run them off the road. Clutch wins the game of chicken with the cars, but the copters are still on their tail. The helicopter drops canisters of gas on them. They try to close up the car in time, but a canister by Hassel's foot goes off in the car. Clutch steers the car off the bridge into the water. As the helicopter gets close to the water to look for them, Scarlet's hand reaches up and grabs a hold of it. Scarlet takes the helicopter pilot out and takes control. Her and Clutch discuss how it seems as if Cobra wants them to get Hassel to the talks. When behind them, Hassel chooses this time to pull out his weapon and reveal he is the assassin. Seems like he should have waited a while longer. There wasn't any need to reveal himself yet. The Joes were still intent to deliver him where he wanted to go. But some Cobra troopers are waiting when they land to help Hassel tie up the Joes and are instructed to kill them as soon as they hear the gunshot. As the Al-Alaway representative is waiting for Hassel, the Joes get out of their ropes and take out the troopers guarding them. The representatives are finally together for their meeting as the Joes attempt to ski down the hill to them before it is too late. They see a Joe plane coming in as well, but they won't make it in time. It is up to Scarlet and Clutch on their skis. Hassel pulls out his gun, and we can see Scarlet approaching the window. She crashes through the window, but Hassel fires and shoots the representative in the chest. Scarlet takes Hassel down, and as guards storm into the room, Hassel tells them that Scarlet broke through the window and shot the ambassador. But the ambassador is alive. He tells Hassel that assassinations are a way of life in his land, and so are bulletproof vests. Stalker and Snake Eyes have arrived and take Hassel away. The final scene here, we are given Cobra Commander receiving the news. He responds, "It was only a game, and there will always be another game." And that is issue number 9. This was a very fast-paced adventure. It was a nice, quick, self-contained story, but there were some twists and turns and intrigue along the way. My favorite panel from this issue the Cobra Troopers all trying to avoid Cobra Commander, trying to avoid giving Cobra Commander the bad news. Uh-oh, he'll flip out. Glad it's not me delivering that message. Too bad we're in the room. G.I. Joe has learned of our plans for Hassel. And the whole time, Cobra Commander didn't really care anyway. But it's just nice to see all the Cobra Troopers there at their computers, crapping their pants, trying to avoid giving out the bad news to Cobra Commander. This was a fun, quick story. Took the Joes all over the globe as Cobra Commander was toying with them. This isn't the typical Joe story that I would point to as one of my favorites, but for what it is, I really had a good time. I'm going to give this one 4 flag points. That is issue 9, Knowing is Half the Battle, and Now You Know. Subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video where we dive into issue number 10.
You've been watching a Real American Brian production in association with the letters G, I, and JOE.